ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे सुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, verse number 23. So in the previous verses we read Brahma speaking about how Bhagavan manifests in various forms in different places and performs different types of activities, and no one can know all this. And then he spoke that this material world is temporary, but it appears eternal because of our attachment to sense enjoyment. Now he speaks about how Bhagavan is free from any material conditioning, and he is the ultimate reality, one without a second, and source of everything. So in this verse it says, Ekastam Atma Purushah Purana Satyah swayam jyotiranantayadyah Nityaksharo jasra sukho niranjana Purnadvayo mukta upadhito mritaha. So he says that you are one and you are Atma, Paramatma, and you are Purusha, you are a person, means you have form, and you are Purana, you are the ancient. Satya, you are real, and Swam Jyoti, self-manifest, unlimited, and you are Adya, means without any cause, source of everything. Eternal, imperishable, and blissful. Niranjana, you are without any impurities. You are complete and non-dual, and you are free from any conditioning or any upadhis, and you are Amrita, you are immortal. So these are all different characteristics of him to show that he is the ultimate reality and there is nothing independent of him, and he is not dependent on anything. He has no other cause of himself. He has form and he is non-material, and his powers do not decay or diminish with time. And it is not as Advaitvadis think that he is just an upadhi of Brahman, or he is manifest due to upadhi of Maya. So Vishwanath Chakravarti, he comments on this. He says, Kincha tava ananta murtitvepi tvam achintya shaktya ek murtir evatya. So he says that although you have got unlimited murtis, forms, but by your inconceivable power you are only one. So this is something which is difficult again, because it logically does not make any sense that if he has got multifarious forms, then how he is one. So this is one important characteristic of Bhagavan, and that is Achintya Shakti, and it comes again and again, because if he did not have this Achintya Shakti, then he would be liable to be comprehended through logic alone or our material experience. But that's not possible, and that's why Shastra is necessary, because without Shastric knowledge he cannot be known. So he is Shastrayani, or understood only through Shastra, which is his own word. So Shabda Brahma Param Brahma Ubhau Me Shashvati Tanu. So I am manifest as Shabda Brahma and as my personal form, and through Shabda Brahma he is understood. Shabda Brahmani Nishnata Parabrahma Dhigachyate. So it is important to know this, that Shabda Brahma has an important role to play. Otherwise, because there is talk of Kripa and grace and mercy, and he is known by that, then people think that grace means now I don't need to study, then everything will happen by grace. Yes, it is possible, but that is not what is the prescribed process. Prescribed process is that one should study, and that studying is also grace, and then grace comes more by to comprehend it. So that is what is prescribed in Shastra, that is what is prescribed by the Acharyas. So that's why this Achintya Shakti point has to be understood. Otherwise we remain in ignorance, and then through our material mind we make our own logic again. No, it is not like this, not like that. Then we interpret Shastra to prove our point. So this is what goes on. So eka iti. So therefore he says that eka, that you are one. That although you have many forms, still you are one. And it is only one form which contains all forms. Ek murti bahumurtikam. So ek murti, one form, and that has got various forms in it. So that ek murti is Krishna, that is the form, and that all other murtis are there in that. Tvam eka atma, and you are Atma. So Atma here means Paramatma. Why not Jivatma? Because Jivatmas are many. So he said Eka. So if you say that Atma here means Jivatma, then Jivatmas are many. So then it will contradict that you are one. So therefore Atma means Paramatma. इति अर्थ. जीवात्मनाम बहुत्वेन ऐकत्व भावात्. So because Jivatmas are many, so therefore they cannot be one. Unless you speak of jati, you can also have singular in case of class, but that's not the intention here. Nanu Paramatma Nirakara eva. So he says that then Paramatma is Nirakar. So he says no, he is Purusha. He has a form. So Purush Shabdasya Akriti Mati eva Padarthe Rudhe. So Paramatma, maybe people can think that Paramatma is Nirakar. There are many people who pray to Paramatma, but they think Paramatma has no form. Paramatma, Ishvara, they consider him to be Nirakar. So therefore the word Purusha is used here, because Purusha cannot be Nirakar. So he says because the word Purusha has its primary meaning in that who has an akriti or a form. When you think of Purusha person, then some form comes in the mind. So Purusha Shabdasya Akriti Mati eva Padarthe Rudhe. So the word Purusha has its referent in an object which has a form. That is the Rudhyartha, popular meaning. Kimanya Purusha eva Archani Arvachina. So then there are Purushas here and they are Arvachina, they are born in time. They are not some primeval person. So is he also like that? Or Krishna was also born? So then he says Purana. So he is Purusha, but he is Purana Purusha. So he is ancient, he is old. He is not like the human beings that we know of. So Puratana, ancient. So then he says, Nanu Nandaputratva Darvachinopi Aham Puratano Bhavatah Stutya eva Bhuvam Natu Yathartataya Itiya Tatra Satya. So then Krishna says, okay, I am son of Nanda Maharaj and therefore I am modern because I was born 6 years ago. But by your prayer you are making me Puratan, ancient person. So actually I am modern, but you are making me ancient by your stuti. Is that the truth? So therefore he says that I am not really Puratan, I am really not ancient, it's just because you are saying it. Na yathartaya. So then Brahma says Satyaha. Tvam Nandaputropi Satyaha. He says it is also true that you are son of Nanda Maharaj. And therefore you appear to be Arvachin, modern or recently born. But you are also Puratana. I am not denying that you are not son of Nanda. I already said Pasupangajaya. Right? So he says, I accept that. But you have Traikalik Sattavan, Purana Purusha ityartha. So you are a Purusha, you are a person, but you are not recently born. You are ancient. And that ancient means that you have your existence in all three times. Because that's what Satya means. Asatya means which does not exist in past, present and future. Like horn of a rabbit. And Satya means which exists ever. So therefore you are Purana Purusha, which is eternal, Traikalik Sattavan. You have Traikalik Satta. Nanu asya purushasya kal karmadi prakashyatvad ahamapi kim tathaiva. So then he says that the Purusha here, what we see, they are existing in time and they take birth by karma in specific time. So kal karmadi prakashyatvat means they take birth by the influence of karma at a specific time. So is it that I am also like that? That I am also under the control of karma, then I take birth, and then I leave when my karma is over. So Kim Tathaiva says, Na, you are Swayam Jyoti. So Swayam Jyoti means self-manifest. Means you are beyond karma. Your appearance, disappearance is all under your will. So therefore, Tvam tu Swaprakasha. You illuminate, appear by your own will, not because of karma. So now when you say self-luminous, then sun is also self-luminous. So is it that I am like sun? So he says, no, you are Ananta. So he says, Kim Suryadivat Parichinna. So am I limited like the sun, which is also self-luminous? So he says, no, you are Ananta. Na vidyate antaha kalato deshatascha yasyasa. So you have no end. So end can happen either in time or it can happen in space. There are objects here, so they are ending in space. They occupy a certain space. Beyond that, they don't have existence. So they are ending in space. And then there is end in time. So there are things which may not have end in space, like space itself. But then they will end in time. When it's time for dissolution, then space is also coming to an end. So do you also have an end in space and time? So he says, no, you are Ananta. You are having no end. So that is Ananta. Then next, so he is commenting on each word of this sloka. It's interesting, very nice sloka. So then he says, Nanu annepi avatara evam bhuta eva tesham aham katama statra. So he says, other avatars are also like that. Ramchandra is also Purana Purusha, ancient, present and past, present and future. Swam Prakash, self-luminous. So all other forms are also like that. So am I one among them? Katama means one of them. So he says, no, you are Adya. You are the original one. Tvam teshamapi mūlabhūto avatari iti artha. So you are even the source of all those others. And therefore you are the avatari. So this is also illogical, isn't it? If they are all ananta, if they have no beginning or end in time, means they did not begin at a particular time, so then how is it possible that you can be their source or you are the first one? Because if you are the first one, that means once upon a time they were not there. Right? So therefore, this is also that achintya. Because if two things both are eternal, how can you say that one is the cause of the other? If one is the cause or source of another, then one which is source has to pre-exist, and the other one comes in time later on. There has to be some time gap, even if it is 1 second, 1 moment. So it says it's not like that. They all are simultaneously existing, yet you are the original one. So that's why Shastra is needed for that, because biologically you cannot understand how this is possible. How can he or he be the source of a Brahman? Brahmano hi pratisthādam amritasya vyasya. So then comes Nitya, word he explains, Nanu aham dviparardhante kim etat swarupenaiva avasthasyami nava. So he says, when your life comes to an end, Brahma's life comes to an end, so then what happens? The whole universe comes to an end. There is Mahapralaya, complete dissolution. So when complete dissolution happens, then do I stay in this form only, or I also go somewhere and become something else? So vatasya patrasya pute shayanam balam mukundam manasa smarami. Right? So mukharavinde padarvindam viniveshyanta. So in the dissolution, that Markandeya Rishi, he saw one baby lying down on a leaf of a water, and he is sucking his toe. So kararvindena padarvindam mukharavinde niveshyantam vatasya patrasya pute shayanam balam mukundam manasa smarami. So with his lotus hand, he is putting his lotus toe into his lotus mouth while lying on the leaf of a water tree. And he is baby Krishna, Balam Mukundam. So he says, do I also change? So he says, no, Nitya. So he says, Nava ityaha Nitya, that you are ever in this form, Naviyavana, Nitya Kishora. You always stay in your form. So Jagadidam Puratanamapi Satyamapi Dviparardhante Swarupena Asthaitvad Anityam Uchyate. This universe is also ancient, it is also real, but at the end of Dviparardha, that is Brahma's 100 years of lifespan, then it does not stay in its original this form, Swarupena Asthaitvat. Therefore it is called Anitya. But you are Nitya, you are opposite of that because you stay. Tvam tu tadapi Nandaputrakarena api sthasyasi iti nityamuchyasi. But you will continue to stay like this as son of Nanda Maharaj even at that time. So therefore you are called Nitya. So Nitya. Then comes the word Akshara. So Tvam Tvadakarasya Purna Brahma Swarupatvat Yosau Saurye Tishtati Ityadau Ye Sakshat Parabrahmeti Govindam Sachidananda Vigraham Vrindavan Surabhuruha Talasinam Iti Vatapni Shrute. So the proof that you stay like this is described that your form is Purna Brahma Swarupa. Therefore it does not decay, and it is stated in the Shruti that one who is situated in the sun, who is Sakshat Param Brahma, who is Govinda Sachidananda Vigraha, is situated under the tree of Kalpataru Vrindavan. So this is in Tapani Shruti. So the statement here describes that he is eternal, because we studied this in Bhakti Sandarbha, that anybody who is worshipable has to be eternal, otherwise he cannot be worshipable, because then what will happen to the worshipper if the worshipable disappears? Right? So those who are described as worshipable in the Shruti, they are eternal, that is the meaning. And Brahmano hi pratisthaham iti tvaduktesya. At least people believe that Brahman is eternal. But he says, I am the pratishtha of Brahman, so then he has to be also eternal. So therefore he says Nitya. Now, nanu akarvataha षड्विकारवत्वेन प्रतीक्षणाक्षरत्वादहमपि किं तथैव. So now one can make a 5-step nyaya that Krishna's form is perishable because it is a form, and whatever is form is perishable. Yatha Devdattas. Krishna has a form, therefore he is also perishable. Because every form is perishable. So Krishna is perishable because he has form, and if whoever has form is perishable, like Devdatta. Krishna has a form, so he is also perishable. Right? So therefore Krishna says that, am I also like that? So then he says, no, you are Akshara. So Naksharati iti Akshara, which does not perish, diminish, get dissolved. That is called Akshara. So na Akshara. Then he says, Nanu akaravanto hi avasyameva sukh dukh dharmano bhavanti. So then he says that Krishna also experiences material suffering because he has a form. Anyone who has a form experiences material suffering, like Devdatta. He has a material form, so he also suffers. It's another. So you can make statements like this for all of them. So thus he says that you are ajasra sukha. You have continuous bliss. Ajasra means non-stop, without any break. Tail dharavat or Ganga Shrotavat, like the flow of Ganga water from mountain to the ocean. So he says, Tatra Ajasra Sukha. Then he says, alright, I may have Ajasra Sukha, I may have eternal bliss, I may have eternal form, I may be the original one, but I can have some defects in me. And the proof is that it is sin. So he says, Nanu, Mama Balye Gopistanya Dugdha Dadhi Ghritadishu Lobha. So he says, number one, I have greed. I am a greedy fellow because I was very greedy to drink the milk from Gopis, Yashoda's breast. That's why he got angry when Yashoda dropped him to protect the milk. We studied already that. So I am greedy for milk. I am also greedy for yogurt, butter. Steal it. Although I have it in my own house, still I went around stealing. So therefore, number one defect I have is greed, lobha. Pauganda kalyadishu kopaha. In Pauganda, it will come later on. So bhavini bhutvad upchara. This principle, things which are going to happen later, they are treated as if they already happened. Principle. So he says, in my Pauganda age, I will become angry at Kaliya snake. So I have anger also. And Kaishore Gopikasu Kama Ityaham. And then when I will be youthful, then I will have lust for gopis. I will run behind them, do all these things. So I have kamas. So therefore I have all these defects. Kamesha, krodhesha, rajogun samudbhava, mahasano, mahapapma, vidhyenam, hivaranam. So kama, krodha, tatha, slobha. So trividham narkadvaram, tasmate tatrayant. So these are the three gates to hell, and I have all three of them. So an Advaitvadi was giving lecture and he was saying that sadhu is more than Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Because sadhu means he is free from kama, krodha and lobha. But Brahma has kama because he ran after his daughter. Shiva has krodha, he has anger, he burnt Kamadev. And Vishnu, he is lobhi, he has greed, therefore he keeps Lakshmi on his chest. Doesn't want to share with anybody. But sadhu is free from all this. So sadhu is more than them. But here Krishna says that he is having all three of them because Brahma and Shiva are his products. So if the products are having, then he, cause, must have them. Right? Satkaryavad. If Shiva has anger and Brahma has kama and Brahma is coming from Vishnu, right? He says Narayanas nastvam hi kirdehi nam sakshi. I am born from you and from him comes. So then he must have all three. So therefore he says that I have all three of them. So therefore he says, Kamadi malinya yukta eva. Therefore I am having these impurities of lust, greed and anger. And then all others are naturally there. Cannot just have lust, greed and anger and be free from everything else. So then Brahma says, no, you are Niranjana. So Niranjana means free from any impurity. Anjana describes impurity. Niranjana means no impurity. You are completely pure. Then the next word is Purna. Tvat kamadinam api chinmayatvat. So he says your kama is transcendental. Your greed, your anger, they are all transcendental. You have them, but they are not material. They are spiritual. So because they are spiritual, therefore they are not considered as impure. They are most pure. People desire to have that kind of prema as Krishna has that prema, or such greed which is spiritual. So nanu tadapi gopikadi sapekshत्वाद apurnastu bhavami eva. So he says, okay, I have transcendental kama, but then I am dependent on gopis to fulfill my kama. So therefore I am incomplete, because desire means incompleteness. Kama means a desire. So if I have desire, that means I am lacking something. That means I am not purna, I am incomplete, I am not fulfilled. So then Brahma says you are purna. That you are having this desire does not make you incomplete. Therefore he says purna. Premi bhakta sapekshatvam hi na purnatvam vyahanti tirtha. He says there your love, your desire for your devotees who also have love for you does not bring you the characteristic of incompleteness. You are reciprocating for the love of your devotees, and you are complete, you are full, and does not bring you the defect of this. So now one more is remaining, and he says mukta upadhita. Nanu evam bhuto madvidha kopi anno vartate na vaiti tatraha advaya. No, there is still more. So he says, okay, I am having all this. Is there someone else also like me? Madvidho kopi anyo vartate na va. Is there someone more like this or not? So Brahma says, no. You are the only one. You are the only one sample like yourself. There is nobody like you. Unique. Nanu satyam advaitvat purna brahma eva aham tadapi kechin mam vidyopadhim manyante. So he says, okay, I agree with you that I am Advaya, I am Purna Brahma. But some people say that it is true that I am all this, but actually I am having an upadhi of Vidya. So this is the Advaitic view, that Krishna is Brahman with upadhi of Vidya and Jiva is Brahman with upadhi of Avidya. So therefore I am also having upadhi. So then he says mukta upadhita. That's not true. You are free from all upadhi. Upadhi means conditioning or limitation. Tatra hai upadhito mukta iti. So vidya vidyabhya bhyam bhinna iti Gopal Tapni Shruti. So in Gopal Tapni Shruti it is said that you are different from both vidya and avidya. So vidya vidya mam tanu vidya uddhav saririnam. Krishna says to Uddhava that vidya and avidya are my energies and they bind the living entity. Ekasya mamansasya. So vidya bandho vidya bandho anadira vidya muktisya tathetara. So it is because of vidya and avidya the bondage and liberation of the jiva happens, but I am free from them because they are just my energies. Iti Gopal Tapni Shrute. Yatastvam amrita iti. So therefore you are free from all this because you are amrita. So what does that mean? Amritam shashvatam brahma iti shrutiyukta amrita shabda vachyam nirupadi brahma. So amrita here means nirupadik brahman or absolute reality which is free from any conditioning. That's what it means here. Sleshena navidyate mritam mrityur yasmat saiti. Or amrita can also mean that if one takes shelter of you, then one becomes free from death. So yataha mritam na vidyate. So these are all wonderful characteristics of Krishna which Brahma has described in this verse. And this takes away the idea that he is material or he is Brahman with upadhi of vidya or he is temporary or he is under the influence of Maya, etc. All that is refuted by Brahma in this sloka very nicely. Okay, I can hear now. So it's very easy to understand, it's not complicated. When you have kama, krodha, lobha or any of these qualities in the material world, they are for one's own self. They are self-centered. And spiritual means that they are other-centered. It's simple. Means if he has kama, it means he wants to give pleasure to his devotee. If he has greed, anger, that is also for the sake of devotee, for others' benefit, for others' pleasure, for others' upliftment. That's the difference. That's why he is himself Purna. So if he is Apurna, then it will be for one's own self. But when he is fulfilled, then why is he doing it? Out of love. So his anger is out of love, his lust is also out of love. Love means for others. So priti prinam tarpane, to satisfy the other, the object of love. Difference. Any other question?
Yeah, I have a question. Is it looks like I is it Prathama is used instead of all the address. It looks like you are Purusha, you are Purana, but still in the verse it is Prathama is used. What's
But if you say you are going to use Prathama. What else will you use? If you say you are great, Tvam Mahan Asi, what else will you use? If you are beautiful, what will you say?
Sambodhan isn't this is all Sambodhan basically?
No, it is not Sambodhan. That's why I'm saying if you tell somebody that you are beautiful, how will you say it in Sanskrit? Say it in Sanskrit, you are beautiful. How will you say? Tvam sundara asi. Right? Prathama Bhakti, Tvam is Prathama, so it will go, Sundara will go with that. Sambodhan, it's not Sambodhan. It's saying you are like this, you are like that, you are like that. So you is in Prathama Bhakti, then whatever you say about that, if you say Ram is beautiful, then you say Rama Sundara Asti. If you say you are beautiful, then Tvam Sundara Asi.
Thank you.
Sambodhan is when you just say, oh, but that's all. Sambodhan was when he says Paratman, Bhuman, all that Parameshwar, those were Sambodhan, that oh Paratman, oh Bhuman. But now he is not saying that, he is saying you are like that. Okay, let's do one more sloka. Evam vidham tvam sakalatmanampi swatmanam atmataya vichakshate guruvarkalabdhopanishatsu chakshusha yete tarantiva bhavanritam buddhim. So he says that evam vidham tvam sakal atmanam api swatmanam atmataya vichakshate. Guruvarka labdha upanishat suchakshusa ye te taranti ve bhavan ritam. So he says that you are like this, and only those people who have got the eye of knowledge from the sun in the form of Guru, then they can understand you as the Atma of all the Jivas or as Paramatma, and they go beyond this material world. Anritam Buddhim. This material world, which is called here as Anrita. So again, Anrita means false, but false here does not mean that material world is false, but all the false identifications. So the Atma is not false and material body is not false. What is false is the identification of the real Atma with real body. That is what is false. So that is Anrita, that is the falsity. So the world is not unreal, but to think that this world is an object of my enjoyment, that is false, because you can never enjoy it. The beauty is that you can never enjoy this material world, you can never enjoy anything here. And those who think that they are enjoying or they can enjoy or they will enjoy, that is Maya. Sunadehinam sukham kinchid asti vidusham api. Krishna says that here in this material world, those who are embodied, there is no sukha, there is no happiness, even vidusham api. Even those who are learned. He says vritha ahankaranam, it's false pride that I am enjoying. Because if you think you are Atma, you are sitting inside the body, you never come in contact with anything. Right? So how can you enjoy? When you eat food, who is eating food? Can you tell me who eats food? You say, I eat. What is I? Food is put in your mouth. Is mouth I? Then you chew it with your teeth. Is teeth I? Then you swallow it. Is that I? Then it goes into your belly. Is that I? Where is the I? Can you tell me where is I? Then we say, I eat. Everybody says, I enjoyed. Where is I? Who enjoyed? It's just external to you. Like you sit in a car and somebody comes, you go on the, especially in America, you go on the gas station, then this guy comes and he cleans your windscreen. So then you feel happy. But has it touched you? You are sitting inside. Or you can sit in the car and go for a car wash. You are sitting inside with closed windows and then all these machines are coming from all sides, throwing water, cleaning, you come out clean and you feel like. But has anything touched you? No. So you are like that, you are sitting inside this car. Everything is happening to the car, the food is going into the car, it's coming out of the car. And then you say, oh, I enjoyed. It's so wonderful. What stupidity is that? So this is the Maya. So the Guru Ark Labdha Upanishad Sachakshusha, those who have got the good eyesight because of the Tattva Gyan Upanishad from the son of Guru, they can see this. Others, they don't see. So te taranti iva bhava anritam buddhi. Only they can cross this ocean which is full of falsity. All false. All this, whatever, this is mine. How is this yours? This is my house, this is my land. Before you are born, the land was there. After you die, land will not go with you. If it is yours, take it. Let me see if you can take one dust particle with you. So there is nothing like that. So this is the Anrita. There is no Rita in it. There is no truth in it. But we are so proud of all this. Doing all kind of just Vritha Ahankar. Useless pride in all this. And with that we fight, we get angry, we get upset, all these things. I will see you, I will do this. Okay. All external. Inside, the soul is sitting like a dull-headed fellow, doesn't know what the heck is happening. So evam vidham tvam sakal atmanatmanamapi swatmanam atmataya vichakshate. So only such a person can see what Brahma has described there. Otherwise people are not even ready to accept it, what is he saying, or able to even grasp it, what he has said. So therefore, Guru Arka Labdha Upanishad Suchakshusha. Then people say, why do we have to have Guru? Everything is there on the internet. All the mantras are there. So why you need Guru? So kincha tvadiya nirvishesha brahma swarupa upasaka api त्वयि पुरुषाकार स्वरूपे परमात्मत्वेन भक्त्या भाग्यवशाद यदि प्राप्त निष्ठा स्यु तर्हि ते शांत भक्तः संगीयन्ते इत्याह. So now he says that even those people who think of you as nirvishesh Brahman, qualityless, formless Brahman, and they are devoted to that, Brahmagyanis. So they also, if by form, by good fortune, they come in association with some devotees, sadhus, then they can accept you as Purushakar, as Paramatma, that you are Paramatma. Beyond that they cannot understand. So then they perform some bhakti to you and they become Shanta Bhakta. So they are praiseworthy, Sangiyante. So such Brahmagyanis, they are praiseworthy, like Kumaraj. Sukadeva Goswami was also Brahmagyani. But then later on he became Nityam Vishnu Janapriya, became very dear to devotees and devotees became very dear to him. Kumaraj also. So Chetonu Alivadi Aditya Angri, which says we just want that our Cheta or heart circles around your lotus feet like a bumblebee. So there is the same Kumaraj who cursed Jain Vijay, but later on when they saw Tasya Arvinda Nayana Padarvinda Kinjal Kamishra Makaranda Vayu, so Savivrena Antargata Mana Sanshobham Chakara. So that little air which has touched the tulsi which was in the garland worn by Lord Vishnu entered into their nostrils and it created a vikara, Sanshobham, Chitta Tanuva, their Chitta body, they manifested symptoms of prema on their body. Then their heart changed. So that is what is described here, that Svabhagyavasha or Bhagyavashat. Yadi Prapta Nisthasyu, if they can attain Nishtha in Bhagavan like this, Tepi Tarhite Shanta Bhakta Sangiyante, then they are praised as Shanta Bhakta. Evam vidham ukta lakshanam tvam sakalatmanam sarvjivatmanam swatmanam murtattvena manonayan aladkatvat sobhanam atmanam purusha swarupam eva atmatmataya paramatmatvena bhaktya ye pashyanti. So then these people, they see you who are the Atma of all living entities, you are the supreme beings, the super soul, immanent being of all the jivas, Swatmanam Murtatvena, and they also see that you are their Atma as a personified Murta, not impersonal Brahman. And Manonayan Aladhakatvat, you give pleasure to their mind, to their eyes. Sobhnam, beautiful. Atmanam Purushswarupam eva Atmatmataya Paramatmatvena. So now they see your Purushswarupa, the Paramatma form, as the Atma of Atma or their own Atma. So Paramatmataya Krishno Jata Shantir Tirmate iti Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Ukte. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu it is said that these Shanta Bhaktas, they think of Krishna as Paramatma and perform devotion to him, which basically means that they meditate on him. That is their bhakti. They have nishtha. Nishtha is the beginning, is the foundation of bhakti. So Guru Reva Arka. So who are these people? It says Guru Reva Arka Tasmat Labdha Adhyanena. So Guru is like the sun, just as sun dispels the darkness or ignorance, like that he dispels the ignorance of the student by studying Adhyanena. So people don't want to study now, they just want Guru Kripa. Then it will appear. Studying is not Kripa.
Too hard.
Yeah. So Praptaya Upanishad. So by studying from the Guru, then they get Upanishad. Upanishad means knowledge. That secret knowledge, that confidential knowledge. That's what Upanishad means. Upanishad means sitting close to the Guru and getting the Rahasya. So Guru Snigdasya Sisyasya Guruvam Guhya Apyuta. So Guru tells to an affectionate disciple what is most secret knowledge. So that is the Upanishad. So this comes from that. Saiva Suchakshu. And this knowledge is the chakshu, eye. This is the beautiful eye. So it is called Gyan Chakshu, the eye of knowledge. So with this, then they give up all this useless identification for which we are wasting our precious life. This human birth which is so rare, so durlabha, so that we waste running after phantasmagoria, which you will never get. So tadartha avgahanotthene jnanene bhaveva anritam buddhi stam tarantiva. So therefore, with this eye, this vision of knowledge, they get out from this material world, which is compared to an ocean of falsity. So that is verse number 24, and we'll start here.
Babaji, I have a question. Well, it's very clear in this chapter that he was reading and explaining that well, Brahma is established Krishna as the supreme in his behavior and everything what he is doing, even if it seems like as material is absolutely spiritual, and Krishna himself is testing his statement for he can go deeper and can uplift the vision for all of us of who is he, even if he behaves like that. So in this discussion you was talking about the enjoyment, the enjoyer, and the type of enjoyment that is there. So I understand that there is like two types of enjoyment, the material and the spiritual. The material is completely false, it's not real, it's just an idea of it, it's external to the soul, and it's not the soul enjoying any of these things. And then exists this spiritual. So in this I need to clarify myself a little bit. So the question is, in this spiritual enjoyment, you was telling that is about is like redirect the object of these activities, because love, for example, these qualities like lobha, krodha, all of this is there, but the object of this is completely different, which is not ourself, but is supreme, something which is eternal and something which is beyond the ego, Krishna or his associates. When my question is, when someone internally have the desire to use these qualities or some material experience, redirecting the object of this to Krishna or devotees or develop of their own devotion, it can be taken as a spiritual enjoyment or something which is helpful for this, for the bhakti, for the practice of bhakti.
It depends on the intention of the person. What is actually the purpose of person? Because we people in the material world in general, we are selfish. That is simple fact. So yadyat karoti jantu tat tat kamasya cheshtitam. Whatever somebody performs because somebody wants to achieve something from it for oneself, because we are incomplete, we are apurna. So this is a natural tendency, and it cannot be curbed unless and under one fully surrenders. So one mind has very deceptive mentality. Mind has a characteristic of deception, where it will rationalize. So you hear Shastra, you think, and then you apply on yourself. So if one is not sincere, if one is not surrendered, then one will say, well, I am doing this, I am doing like that. So therefore he said, Guru Vark Labdha Upanishad Suchakshusa. So unless that ignorance is dispelled and you have developed that sense of discrimination, where you can understand the difference between what is right and what is wrong, what is spiritual and what is material, then people keep on deceiving themselves in the name of spirituality. So it is a very tricky thing. We memorize the definition, while bhakti means this, prema means this. So one has to have sincerity.
It's called spiritual bypassing.
So then I have another question. Maybe can you give us a way to test our own self in sense
Test
of...
is simple, do what you have been told to do. People don't follow instruction, but they do what they want to do with their own mind, and then they rationalize it. Simple. It's not very complicated. So when you do that, then it means you are simply attached to your own ideas, your own thoughts, your own material attachments. So when Krishna says Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, it's there. It's not. I'm not saying anything new. It says Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Take my shelter. So unless one does that, and one has to be sincere about it. It cannot come by force. It cannot come by preaching. You have to have that inspiration within you. And if that inspiration comes by grace, then you will know. Because then you will not rationalize like that. You will not say, well, I'm doing this because it helps me to do this. Well, I'm going there because it helps me do this. Actually, I want to do this. So then you rationalize. That's how. Because you have heard Shastra, so you know something. So externally you cannot be seen as doing which is obviously wrong. So then you say, well, I'm doing this because this helps me to do this. This is what goes on. It's very simple. So this to give up attachment to your own ideas, your own concepts. You have to do a yajna of all that. Swaha. Then you can get out of it. Otherwise it is not possible. This Maya is very powerful. It's an ocean of Anrita. There's not one or two. It's all around you.
So in this case, sincerity is very important for
Satyam param dhimahi. Simple.
And
Begins with truthfulness.
when someone realizes that his own intentions are mixed or are rationalized by some hearing or something preaching or something like that, then what is the shelter that the person can take for...
You cannot take shelter with mixture. This mixture does not work.
Or exists some process for unmix that with time or practice?
Yeah, you can satisfy yourself like that, but it doesn't. It's all giving satisfaction to your mind. Because you have to also keep your mind satisfied, otherwise it will keep on troubling you.
So it's something that has to be good. It's not...
Yes, it's very painful. It's very painful. You have to be a hero. This bhakti is not for cowardly people, for weak-hearted people. It's not for them. Why Arjuna is the character of Bhagavad Gita? Because he is a hero. He can shoot. Yes, this is the most heroic act. People think bhakti is for weak-minded, those who cannot take to Gyan Marg, who can... No, bhakti is for the most heroic person. What is the statement? Nayam Atma. There is a word labhya.
Nena labhyo.
Nayama.
Pravachanena labhya.
No, there is another one which says the weak-hearted. Pravachanena is okay. There is another statement similar in the same place which says that Nayam Atma Balhinena Labhya. It says Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya is there. It says Nayam Atma Balhinena Labhya. Bala, strength. Hina means devoid of. Means weak fellow. You cannot attain Atma. Atma here means Bhagavan. As we said, Atma, Paramatma. So Bhagavan cannot be attained by weak-hearted, weak fellow. It is brave heart, big hero.
A nice saying by Narsimha Mehta, he says, Harino marg chhe surano, kaya nu koi kaam nahi.
Translate.
Harino marg chhe surano, the path for Lord Hari is only for the brave people. It is not for the kaya.
Yes,
for the weak.
Cowards. Cowards can go to Gyan Marg. Yes, it's true. It's such a misunderstanding. People think that Bhakti, chalo bhai. No, it's Kshatriya. Spirit is needed here. Because Kshatriya means they can actually sacrifice their life. They are not afraid for the battle and die. That's needed. Yeah, I'm not saying Kshatriya by birth or anything, but that spirit is needed. Yeah. You have to be. I don't care. Let the world dissolve. I am here. This is my path. I can die. I can starve. People can criticize me. They can attack me. They can do anything. I am with Krishna. If I have taken shelter of him, what is that I have to fear? And what is this sense objects that I have to run after them? What is in them? It's just foolishness, nothing more than that. If you actually think, then it is nothing more than foolishness. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says, he says, what is this sex? He says, just itch. And karyoriva dukkha dukkham. And it only leads to suffering. Everybody has this experience. Everybody has this experience that this sex life leads to suffering. It's nobody who does not. But they're still running after it. So you have to be hero, not afraid. Then Krishna says, okay, here is a person who can be with me. He's not driving chariot of some coward fellow. That's why when Arjuna says, I don't want to fight, he says, what? He says, this weakness of heart, from where has it come? Anarya justam asvargyam akirtikaram, Arjuna. What is this? You want me to drive your chariot and behave like this? Cowardliness? So Arjuna said, yes. So this attachment, karpanya dosha upatso bhava. I am having this karpanyata. So he says, that's why he was smiling. So senyorubhyo madhya. Smayaniva. He spoke and he chastised him. He said, Sochananu sochastham pragyavadasya. You talk like a big pandit. Everybody gives lectures. People come to me, they give me lecture. Yeah, I listen. I have no problem in listening. That is the only one good quality I have. I can listen. So I listen to them. How they talk, they rationalize everything. Yes, very nice. Day before yesterday, My lawyer came for 1.5 hours, he was preaching to me. Finally I had to say, okay, go have other things to do, If you listen to him, you look like he's the greatest bhakta, So everybody comes and gives lecture, especially in India, especially if you are from this area, because you hear so much about these things, But when it comes to doing, then same thing they are doing like anybody else. Okay.